Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's February 23rd. We're here live. My name is Matt. If you don't know me, I'm the CMO here at Legendary Marketer, and I am live with you this morning for another edition of Wake Up Legendary. If you're newer or it's your first time watching or you just happen to stumble upon this replay, one thing that we do for our show every single morning is we send out a little text message. And we just message anybody who's subscribed to these updates a short little brief text message that just says, hey, we're going live with Joe this morning. Tune in. We're going to share XYZ. And there's a little link to Facebook. You can tap on it and pop right into the live. It's super easy. So you could text the letters. You just text WUL in a message to 813. In fact, you might have heard that. Boom. There we go. David Sharpe. Ready for a massive dose of inspiration? Want more tips on how to grow your TikTok channel fast? Today, boom. Okay, so and then it's got a little Facebook link, and all you got to do is tap this little Facebook link. Check this out. Check this out. This is a live demo. Hopefully, I don't get any sketchy messages. And you tap it, it pops you right into Facebook, and poof, I'm watching myself live. There we go. All right. So anyway, let me close out of that. It's that easy. It's like tapping the little Staples easy button. So text WUL to 813-296-8553. The goal of this show is that we bring you a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of in some ways it can be a free coaching session of sorts, in that we usually dive into somebody's marketing, or we dive into their experience of creating content, or starting their blog, or starting their business. And we just get a little bit of a gold nugget here and there every single morning. You'll get one little takeaway if you pull out a little notepad or pull open your notes app on your computer or phone and take some good notes and really tune in, actually pay attention to the words being said. You'll get a little bit of value. So without any further, let's bring in our guest for the day. Yes, I had a good vacation, by the way. Let's bring in our guest for the day, Joe. What's up, Joe?
Hey, how's it going, Matt?
Good. It's a good morning here. Where are you calling in from?
So I'm calling in from Vegas.
Cool. Right on. And you grew up in the Netherlands?
Yeah, so I moved stateside when I was 11. So
Cool.
I lived in a small town called Spijkenisse,
Okay.
which is a suburb of Rotterdam.
Okay. Cool. Right on. So you are in Vegas now. Tell us a little bit about, I don't know, how did you get into digital marketing? You were you worked in a gold mine before. Tell us just a little bit about like your background and history, and then why'd you decide to come online?
Absolutely. So for the last 12 years, I basically have been in supply chain working for a gold mine. So initially, I spent 11 years working at a gold mine that was 4 hours north of Vegas. So basically the dead center of Nevada. And then the last year I was working for one down here. And I did purchasing. I kind of wore a lot of different hats, warehousing. So like I knew the supply chain side. Mm-hmm. So after everything that transpired, and which led to me getting fired, it was nice because I had the flip side of the coin. I'd always been a purchaser. So I dealt with sales. I dealt with marketers. So it was kind of nice. So like it was already a world that I was invested in.
Yeah.
I just had never been on this side of the table.
Got it. So interesting. So you had the little bit of touch and experience, but had never done that. So then over the last couple of years, bring us into your sort of joining the digital marketing world as a freelance digital marketer. What has that been like? What caused that? And then, how'd you find us? I mean, how did you pop into our community?
So surprisingly, I stumbled on you guys straight through TikTok. So after I was kind of let go, I was wearing too many hats and it was just too much of a stressful environment. Okay. And at the end of the day, I just never wanted to be in a situation where someone could lie and that would ultimately lead to my unemployment.
What do you mean?
So I was in a situation where one of the gals I worked with made up a story saying like I did these things, I said this, and none of it was factual. So even when I brought them like, no, this is what actually happened, they chose her story over what the actual truth was.
Mm.
So it soured me so bad, and I didn't realize just how absolutely stressed out I was. So it took me a couple months of decompressing, and of course I was just scrolling around on TikTok, and I saw this like opportunity to like work on Fiverr or do something like that, and it got me curious. I'm like, okay, so there's a way I can focus from home and possibly, I don't know, make probably not as much money as I was making. Well, at least that's what I thought at the time. And so I shifted my focus onto, okay, well, let's start expanding my horizon. And then the same person who I saw the initial video on, when I clicked their link, it brought me to Legendary. So I signed up for the 15-day challenge, and the rest is history.
Wow, cool. Very cool. And you'd never done any sort of education, never tried anything? Are you familiar? Like, are you a techie guy or not really?
No, I've always been kind of techie.
Okay, cool. So that part maybe wasn't quite as difficult for you, getting stuff set up, figuring out how to put together a sales funnel, stuff like that.
Yeah, so like that side came easier, but like there's kind of a funny story with it. Like once I really buckled down on my TikTok, because I didn't have any of those in place. Like I think like most people, I was probably a little on the overwhelmed side. Like I finished my challenge, I was looking through the blueprints. I'm like, okay, well, these blueprints are great, but I'm like, okay, well, where do I want to focus or like actually niche down and focus? So I started on TikTok, but like my videos weren't like they weren't specific enough. Like I was just kind of putting out like, oh, check out these websites. So like the first, I don't know, like 8 or 9 videos, like I was posting like one every other day. Like I wasn't consistent enough. And I also wasn't, at the end of the day, like I wasn't in the right market for what I needed to be in.
Interesting. What do you mean by that?
So like I was offering helpful information, but it wasn't for people that were looking to make money online. It was more kind of like a casual like swiper that like, oh, well, this is cool, I should check this out.
Okay, sure.
So
So you discovered sort of what would be, you had a discovery or a revelation that in order to sort of drive leads and sales to a certain product in a certain niche, you needed to create content for that niche.
exactly.
Okay. Wow, interesting. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like that makes sense, but sometimes it's not all that easy, right?
It's true. And let's be honest, the hardest thing is the 6 inches between your ears. You
Mm,
tend to overanalyze, overthink it, and
yes.
complicate it way more than you ever need to.
Yeah, interesting. Wow. Super fascinating. So you figure that out and things start rolling. You start to see more lead flow, you start to see more sales, revenue, everything like that. What did you do? I think Valerie's got a good question here. What did you do to niche down? What exactly did you do? What helped you make that discovery? Was it just you kind of watching different stuff on TikTok and just you had this realization, or did you look at other people's content and what they were doing and just had a realization like, oh my God, like what was it that sparked that moment?
So I think it was a bit of both. So like initially, I started out with those initial videos, and I made one right before I went on holiday. I went to go visit my mom and brother up in Idaho,
Okay.
and I took like 10 days off.
Mm,
And the video I made right before I left was a Santa video, which at the time was my biggest viewed video with like 777 views, which is kind of funny looking back because all my other videos were like 50 to 60. So
okay.
during those 10 days, I kind of did a lot of self-reflecting. Like I read a lot of books. Like
Mhm.
I just basically kind of poured it over, and like I wanted to make a game plan
Yeah.
because I'm like, okay, well, if I'm truly focusing on affiliate marketing, then I need to be about providing a value for people that want to actually make money from home.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. And there's a comment here that said I need more TikTok ideas. And I've always told people there's a lot of ways. There's a few different ways that you can get good ideas. Do you have any tips on how to get good ideas? And I can share some too.
Absolutely. So one of the thing is like I'll usually have a couple of videos that I just have pre-planned for the entire week. Like Once like a question, once an answer. I do a mindset. I usually try to do a duet because I feel that mindset's one of those things that most people don't realize needs to come with, because most people aren't in the right state of mind to start a digital business.
Yep.
So like I kind of juggle those two or those points. So like I'll always plan on making those videos, and then I'll also go to TikTok, watch other people's videos, see what inspires me.
Yep.
And then from there I'll kind of start applying, tweak and like really put it in my own voice.
Yeah, totally. Let's say for instance that let's say here's a couple here's a couple good ideas. Let me share my screen. I was trying to figure out how I could let me see if I can share this real quick. So for instance, guys, if you are trying to, let's see if I can make this bigger. There we go. Whoa. Okay. So if you're trying to, Joe, can you see this also?
Yeah.
Okay. So, for instance, we had a guy on about a year and a half or 2 years ago that, maybe not even that long ago. I don't know. He eventually started selling these cocktail cards, and, to create content or find different content ideas, let's say that you're in the cocktails niche, right? And making good cocktails. Well, what you can do is you can search the hashtag craft cocktails, and you can do just a little search for videos. Now, I'm not logged in at the moment, but if you're just sitting on your phone, you can go to videos and look up videos that are trending with craft cocktails. You can also go to the cocktails account, right? This is a pretty simple one, and get ideas. And what you can do is use this little tool. It's called Sort for TikTok. I'll put it in the comments right here. So Sort for TikTok. And you can download this to your Google Chrome browser on your desktop, and you can sort videos by most watched to least watched. So what I did here is I just hit Sort for TikTok, and you can see it's flashing all over my screen as it's sorting this stuff out. And then boom, what we've got here is a list of their top videos, because it's sorting the top ones to the bottom. So you can see immediately, I think everybody can see. I don't know if this is as clear as for everybody as it is for me, but it seems really clear right away that the videos that are the most viral seem to be these how-to videos, right? So if we go here, okay, so it's mostly just fun, like how to create. And then what you can do is you have endless ideas here, and that's just one of these, right? The other thing you can do is you can use something like Trend Talk. So there you can see it on the screen. I'll put it here too. You can use a tool like Trend Talk. I'm sure there's other ones, but really being able to investigate other people's content, and just immediately you'll start getting content ideas, tons and tons of content ideas. And what I do is I tend to not try to reinvent the wheel. You can sort of game the system in a sense, because TikTok's algorithm functions pretty similarly for most people. And so if a video is going viral or it's doing really well for somebody else, you could say, okay, in the cocktails realm, this when somebody made this Mai Tai this certain way, it worked really well. I'm going to put my spin on it and create a different kind of Mai Tai, but maybe I'll explain it or do it the same way as them and use the same sound and just see what happens. And I think giving yourself, it's sort of like, rather than starting at the main starting line, you're starting about 50 yards down the track in a 100-meter dash. You're giving yourself a big time head start or a handicap where you can start out in a much better, more advanced place than most other people. Sorry for the rant there, but anything coming up or any ideas to add on to that?
No, I think you encapsulated it really well, because I definitely started doing the exact same thing. Like I love that Sort by TikTok. Like it's a great tool.
Yeah, At least for me, um, for the last 2 years since we put out a TikTok training, I mean, we used to have to just scroll through TikToks and find them. And now you click one button and you've got a huge list of content that is by definition been watched the most. And I also think going out and looking at hashtags and seeing what's coming up towards the top of those hashtags is really powerful too, because that's more of a real time thing, right? So if you use Sort for TikTok, you might have a video that went viral with a viral sound 2 years ago
Yeah.
that is the most watched. And maybe that viral sound isn't getting pushed in the algorithm like it was 2 years ago. That's fine. But at the same time, you should really try to find which and usually what you'll find, um, is that the headline for how-to style videos, the headline is the big kicker of um what will make a video go viral. You've got about a couple seconds and you just got to be fast. It's got
Oh
to be
yeah.
super fast. You got to grab their attention, and once that happens, boom, now things start rolling. So how long have you been on TikTok, and was it easy, hard to get started creating content? What was that process like?
No, so realistically, I kind of view like I really started buckling down doing a couple videos a day January 4th.
Mm,
So pretty much the start of this year, I came back with the intention I'm doing whatever it takes to just get it done.
wow. Okay. Interesting. But you started
Like
before
mid
that, right?
December was when I first started kind of posting some videos.
Mm, got it. Wow. That's so interesting, man. That's so crazy how fast growth can happen on and you're also are you posting to shorts and reels and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Um, just as when you post your stuff to Instagram Reels, are you also are you hitting the option that also makes it a post, or are you not doing that?
No, I've just been sharing, but I definitely need to get better at the Instagram side because right now
Yeah,
I just
well, no,
kind of
I wasn't making a comment on what you should or
oh,
shouldn't do. I was mostly just curious because in the last couple weeks, and this is really helpful for everybody who's here. Dave actually shared this in a channel with us yesterday. That Facebook is taking Reels worldwide now,
mhm.
and they're trying everything they possibly can to compete with TikTok, and they're losing quite a bit, even though I'm on their platform saying this right now. But they're not doing as well as TikTok is in that content creation way. And so they're pushing that all. And what we've had, Joe, over the last couple of weeks is people saying that when they go to share their TikTok to their Instagram Reels, there's a little checkbox that says, do I also want to create a post with this reel? And when they select that, their views don't go up. But when
Oh,
they
really?
uncheck it and don't make it a post, they get a lot more views.
Oh,
So I wanted, not that I'm saying that that's going to happen for everybody, but for everybody who's here and for you as well, test that out and try that out and see what happens, especially if you have a really good TikTok or video that you feel like is doing really well. Boom, let's take that, let's put it on Reels and YouTube Shorts and see what happens. Does that make sense?
absolutely.
Yeah, and you're already, I mean, you've got a TikTok and an Instagram and a YouTube, so your infrastructure is ready to rock on that. You can be omnipresent, you can be everywhere all the time for people.
Mhm.
And I think that's you've got a heads up. You're on your way. Yeah, and I
Thank
feel
you.
like you're just getting started too. So,
I know.
um,
So, do you mind if I interject real quick?
yeah, please.
So one of the funniest things happened. So like when I came back and I'm like, okay, I'm focusing on the TikTok. I didn't have my sales funnel. I didn't have my autoresponder. None of that was set up. Well, that first week I had two videos go super viral.
Wow.
So then it would like on my end, I was just this mad dash scramble just to get everything set up and in place. And I learned so much because I think being a master procrastinator, you kind of like there's a thrill in that you just have to get something fixed. You have to get something up and working. And I learned so much. Like initially, I was using like Vistia links, in my funnel, and I found out that those don't actually play on phones.
Yeah, well, that just recently started to happen. I've been
Yeah.
hammering down their doors to try to let them know, and they're trying to fix it or trying to find a fix. Yeah, yeah, we've had to switch over to Vimeo.
Yeah, it was funny because I'm like, I would preview it, everything looked fine, and then the moment I would try to use like a dummy email on my phone, all of a sudden I'm like, I can't see the video. I'm like, what did I do wrong? So then I'm
Totally.
like, I'm sitting there googling away. I'm like, how do you fix this? How do you get this to play? And
Yep.
Vimeo was the main one that I kept stumbling on.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. The Carolina just asked, so the TikTok logo doesn't hamper success on Rails. Well, Carolina, what you want to do is you want to remove that. You want to remove the watermark. There's tons of tools. Just Google search, how do I remove watermark from TikTok video? Yeah, so that's super interesting. And for everybody who maybe you just joined right now, Wistia does work on phones. I think the place where Wistia doesn't work is inside of the TikTok native app. If you're going through a sales funnel or you're going through something on TikTok on TikTok, it works on Instagram, I think. But something in the TikTok, the way they have it scripted or something, sometimes Wistia videos don't play on certain devices and stuff. But what I wanted to say earlier is that uh in particular, Joe has grown his channel to 161,000 followers. And if you're just starting or you're just brand new or you're just getting going and you've heard anyone say TikTok is dead, TikTok, the way the growth is happening, or, oh, a year and a half ago, TikTok's growth was so much better, whatever. I mean, you heard him say the words. You heard him say he really only took this serious since January. I mean, he started posting I think your first post was November 11th or around November. It was in November. So we're talking December, January, February. We're talking just over 3 months since really first post. And he's at 161,000 followers, guys. And he's done a great job of creating really fun, engaging videos, and taking that, you've taken a formula and ran with it, and you've done really well. And so I think that for people who are sitting around wondering, oh, are the best days of TikTok over? Is it done? No, it's not. It's not over at all. You've got to create good content, but a lot of people are asking how many videos, and I think you'd probably be somewhere in the range of, like, tell me if I'm wrong, but just as I'm looking at your channel, you're for sure less than 100 videos.
Yeah.
But how many videos do you post a day on average?
On the weekends, I usually do like one, maybe two.
Yeah.
So I usually just try to do a couple.
On the weekdays or weekends?
On the weekends, I do like just one or two, and then on the weekdays, I do 2 to 3. That's
Okay.
usually my goal. So
Yeah. So we're talking, yeah. So maybe you're close to 100, but as I look at your channel and stuff, I don't see I don't see that it's 100. It's probably close, but I mean, geez, 100 pieces of content, you're averaging over 1,000 followers per video, and it doesn't all come from every single video, right? You've got a couple big, you know what I mean? You've got a couple big ones that have really taken off, that are those viral videos that I talk about to get virality and get some movement. And then you've got to intersperse more personalized content and introduce yourself and then go live, which, Joe, by the way, you gotta go live. You
I
gotta
know.
go live, my man. I'm telling you, people oh, people underestimate going live so much. If people knew what I knew, they would, as soon as they hit 1,000 followers, they would go live every single day. You can increase sales by 5 to 10 times easily. Easily. The best performing, not even in the affiliate world. I'm talking in e-commerce. I'm talking in drop shipping. I'm talking physical products, all kinds of stuff. Yes, by the way, Jim just asked, are you making sales yet? Yes, he is. Yes, a lot. And I'm not going to give any specific numbers because I don't want to mislead people or anything. But yes, he is really generating a lot of leads and sales from all of his followers, which is another thing that people say, you know, if you post these videos, these viral videos, well, great, you went viral, but you're not going to make any sales. Well, I think you would probably be the first to say that's not the case, right?
Exactly. And a lot of the two is like the viral video gets people's attention and it gives them a chance to look at your profile. That's when they see what the real value is.
Yeah. Yeah. And also it gets them to follow you because they think, oh, well, that was interesting. This Joe guy, what's he got going on? And then boom, suddenly you've got a video tomorrow that talks about XYZ. Let's say you're in a dog training niche. So first one is this, you know, huge claim, funny video or really instructive video about how to get your dog to stop barking at the mailman overnight, you know, as soon as overnight, something like that, right? This big claim, and people are like, oh, okay, my dog's not going to start doing that overnight, but they're like, man, I kind of like that guy's video. So they follow you, right? And then the next day you're live and you're selling some sort of a product. Maybe you're selling dog CBD, or you're selling some sort of special toy that engages dogs for hours and just tires them out or whatever. And you're on your live on your TikTok, showing your dog, you know, chewing on his chew toy or whatever, going crazy on it. And you even film the mailman walking up. Maybe you get an actor, comes up and rings the doorbell, and the dog is just crazy into the toy, right? And now people are like, well, damn, I need that. And you're like, hey, by the way, link in my bio. And you sell 100 of them, right? Now we're not really big in the e-com game. I'm just giving an example because I want to get people's heads to really think through the power of going live. And some of the biggest affiliate marketers I've seen in the last year, people who rake in front end sales, are people who go live every single day. By far, by a long shot, going live is, especially right after a viral video. Right after a viral video, people then go live and it creates this frenzy. But anyway, I'm ranting, but I'm really passionate.
I'd love to hear it though. Like it's great nuggets, even for me, because you're 100% correct. Going live is like, so the next two steps that I really want to focus on is creating a Facebook community and going live all the time.
Yep, that's what you should do. Yep. And even going live when no one's watching at first. That's a big one. Going live when no one's tuning in. And you know, I gave this example on our Blueprints webinar a couple weeks ago, where I basically was sharing my screen live on our every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. We do this for our Business Blueprints members, and I host them. And I went live. And I was on TikTok, and I had my notes app opened, right? And so on my notes app, what I did is I used it as a green screen, and I said, how to get your dog to stop barking immediately. Okay, so I did something like this, and I'll show you what I mean here. How to get your dog to stop barking immediately. And then what I did is I took a screenshot of it, right? And so that creates a little photo. And then I go on TikTok on the app. Hang on, it's gonna be loud. Okay. And I do a post. All right, so here we are. I'm on TikTok, right? And I do a post. Let's see. And I do a green screen effect with that little thing, right? And so here, I'll take a screenshot of it. Okay, now it's as simple as this. Here, I just did it for you. All right, how to get your dog to stop barking immediately. And then, you know, once you hit 1,000 followers, you can go live with that as your background. And people, and this is a huge gold nugget, everybody, don't miss this. When people are sitting there scrolling, boom, you've got a big attention grabbing headline. That's why we say copywriting is the most the highest paid skill online, is because you've got this powerful headline that's attention grabbing, and now you're live. Okay, 10 years ago, when people would go live, they would have to sign up for $100 a month go to meeting or go to webinar and bring and invite people via their email list to sign up for the webinar and then show up at a scheduled time at 7 p.m. Eastern or 8 p.m. Eastern to the actual live webinar sitting on their computer. And now people can be sitting on their toilet in their bathroom scrolling while they're doing their thing, just scrolling, and then boom, exactly what they want to know, exactly what they want to learn is right in front of them. And Joe's sitting, he's staring you right in the face while they're, sitting, doing their business, and you're selling dog training stuff to them, or you're selling a dog training course, or you're selling dog training toys, or who knows what, right? Doesn't matter. But my point is this sort of Paul, a guy who's he's in our community, he calls it the mini webinar strategy, right? And I would call it the instant webinar strategy. It's taking a webinar and going straight into it's taking that and going straight into somebody's phone and intercepting their train of thought. And if you got 161,000 followers, you can go live, and I bet you could get 1,000 to 2,000 people to watch your live, not all at once, but there, it was somebody who's got about 1 million followers. They're going to have probably close to 800 to 1,500 people watching concurrent. But at the end, it shows you how many people watched total. There's probably gonna be 45,000 people. For somebody who had 161,000, you'll probably have a couple thousand people who will watch. And think about this human psychology of I know I'm ranting here, but think about the human psychology of marketing. When people see a video about this guy named Joe, it's this theoretical guy named Joe, and it's like, cool, whatever, that's great. Yeah, he seems like a cool guy. But then they get to see you go live, and they're like, oh no, this guy Joe is sitting at his phone looking at me right now in the camera. Boom. Like, this is legit. He is real, legit, authentic. This is different. It's not a canned Joe. It's now a Joe I can relate to. And that's
that personal
a really,
touch.
really big thing.
That personal touch can't be understated.
Yeah. It's that element, in the world of driving leads and sales and getting people to do what you want, that level of authenticity and that level of realness, the feeling of realness, you can't replace it. There's no way to replace it. There's no substitute. There's nothing that will beat that level. That's why the Home Shopping Network and QVC and all of that crap works so well and has for decades. Infomercials. It's because people they feel like it's in real time. If people see you on a recorded video, great, but they might think, oh, that could have been a month ago, could have been 5 months ago, could have been 10 months ago. But this dude's here right now in my face, and that's really powerful. So, Joe, jeez, I'm out of breath. For people who are here and they're in your shoes, they are where you were 3 months ago, probably, I don't know, doubting if they could get some traction or build a followership on TikTok or whatever. What would you say to those people now that you're on the other side and you've built 160,000 followers, which, by the way, you're just getting started too. I mean, you're on your way to 300, 500, 1 million, who knows, maybe more. What would you say to anybody who's thinking about it, talking about it, kicking the can down the road? What would you say?
I'd say the first thing to focus on is consistency. Putting out content, like, it doesn't even matter if it's that great. It's about finding your own voice. Because I think most people will always struggle with, well, I don't like to record myself. Well, there's ways around it, but at the end of the day, it's that personal connection, and you can't really accomplish that as well without showing yourself.
Wow. I love it. I can't top that. That's super good stuff, man. Well, Joe, keep rocking. And if you ever need anything, let us know. And in the meantime, keep us posted on what you're seeing, what's, what you're having success with. And yeah, just keep us in the loop. We'd love to have you back on the show in a few months, just to touch base and see what's up, and see how
Absolutely.
things are going.
Absolutely. Thanks for
Cool.
having me.
Of course, anytime. All right, guys, I'm going to put up his social. You can find him here at DE Dutch Entrepreneur. So the Dutch Entrepreneur, DEDUTCH Entrepreneur. He's on TikTok, Instagram. You can also just search that on YouTube and find his YouTube channel as well. Hey, make sure you go subscribe and follow Joe. And he's been able to grow a channel just about as fast as anybody, I think. I mean, for the level of growth that he's had over the last couple of months, it's been really fast and cool to watch. So go give him a follow, and also, tell him something you liked about the show. What inspired you? What do you like about his channel? Give him a little feedback, give him some love. That's the whole point of this show, is to help build each other up and build in some goodwill. We call that business karma. Build in some business karma, because someday it'll come back around to you. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll be back here same time, same place, Thursday and Friday of this week. And we've got more guests lined up. This show is pretty jam-packed. We schedule out usually, geez, what do we schedule out? I'm looking at our list. We're scheduled out for about 3 weeks-ish or a month. We could schedule out a lot longer, but then sometimes people forget about the show and they don't show up. So we only schedule about 3 weeks, but we could schedule this thing out about 2 months if we had to. And we're always filling it with people from different backgrounds and different ages, and people from all over the world. So tune in every single Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We've been doing this for years now, and it's super powerful. It's always inspirational, even to me. And if you have an idea of somebody else who maybe would be a good fit for the show, you can email dave@legendarymarketer.com with any ideas of somebody that has had success online and in the digital marketing space. We'd love to hear from them, love to feature them on the show. Peace out, everybody. Take it easy, and have a great rest of your Wednesday. See you back here tomorrow, Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.